How are you, my fans, sneak peepers, and curious friends? I am difficult and demanding. If you want to know my real name, then hold still, and I might bring your wish to fruition. Before we begin, you can find this podcast show in iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Blueberry, Google Play Music, TuneIn, YouTube, and Stitcher. This is the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real, uncensored, and shooting straight between the eyes. The third eye, that is. I am going to hit you with explicit truth. This solo show is outrageously honest and keenly witty with a view into life. Yes, I said life. That's what we do every day when we wake up from sleeping. We are living life. Well, some of us at least. Moreover, I hope to provide you with gut-wrenching laughter and a touch of wisdom. Let's get something straight. Really, really straight. I am truly, actually, habitually, and shamelessly difficult and demanding. And I completely own it. Now, I don't ask for much because I expect and receive it all. I firmly believe that if you expect shit, you will receive shit. What does that mean? Well, it means expect nothing but the best and don't settle for less. As always, I, your host, Tara, am keeping it real and uncensored. Isn't life much better with higher expectations? You don't have to thank me. I've already taken all the credit. So unplug from your life and dive all into episode 55 of the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast. Look at me. Do you see me? Can you see me? No, you just see the pieces that benefit you. But I am what I am. And you can't dissect me, judge me, reject me, or alter me. Take me as I am. Are you good enough? Sexy enough to keep your marriage together? If you're asking yourself such questions, then I have a piece of news for you. Your marriage is a sham. A real connection is more. Shame, fear, labels, and judgments have no place in any marriage unless you're beckoning a double sexual life for one or both of you. Before I begin, I am going to do a call out. What's a call out? Well, it's not a shout out. I am calling out you motherfucking lurkers. If you have entered my world, then be honest with yourself about it. You want to be here, and you know I want you here, so follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Finally, climb aboard and enjoy the entire show, because I am giving you plenty of ridiculous honesty. Once the podcast episode ends, I am keeping it going on my Instagram page at Difficult and Demanding and on my Twitter page at Mrs. D&D. Look at me. Look at me. What do you see? What do you see? Can you even see me? Of course, that's what you're thinking. But you are not understanding me. Take a moment. Take a step back. Look at me. Look at me. Do you see me? Really, really see me? I bet you're looking at my hair, my skin color, my clothes, my lips. Some of y'all may be looking at my ass. Everyday shit. That is how I know you don't see me. You see what the fuck you want to see. You like that shit, right? What you want to see? You dissect me and take the pieces that suit you. So what suits you? What suits you? What pieces of me benefit you? Yes, I said pieces of me. Why can't you see me? I'm trying to show myself to you. Is it too much? Is it not enough? Which one is it? Because if I'm not enough, then let me tell you why. How in the hell are you going to accept pieces of me? Who gave you the impression that you could and can dissect me? Who gave you that impression? Who gave you the impression that you can judge me, reject me, alter me? Listen to what the fuck I said. Who gave you the impression that you can judge me, reject me, alter me? Because I did not give you permission to do so. And when it comes to me, you need my permission. So, how and where did you get the audacity to think that you can judge me, reject me, alter me? Do you know who the fuck I am? Do you? Well, if you don't know, then you will very shortly. You see, I am me. Did you hear me? I am me. I am not what you want. I am not what you think. I may not be what you need. I may not be what you prefer. I am me. So get comfortable as you can with that shit. Ooh, you don't like that, do you? You don't like that, do you? Yes, I don't want you to like me. I don't want you to like me. I'll say it again. I don't want you to like me. And I really don't give a damn if you do. You don't know me. You don't want to try to know me. So why should I care? Why should I care? You don't have an answer for me, do you? So you can't actually know me because you can't see me. But I'm okay with that because by the time I'm done, you will see me. You will see all of me. You thought you could piecemeal me. Nah, motherfucker, nah. So tell me, what do you see? What do you see? Are you starting to see me? Yeah, I want to know. Are you beginning to see me? Sit with that. Sit with it. Are you beginning to see me? I'm your wettest dreams. I'm your worst nightmare. I am your angel. I am your fallen angel. Let me tell you something else. Are you listening? Hell yeah, you are. You have to be. It's my voice. And it locks motherfuckers down. Don't you love being my captive? I'll save you the energy and I'll answer for you. Wait for it. Wait for it. It's coming. The answer is yes. Now let's refocus. You see, I am nothing. I am everything. I am what my soul sings. I am what I feel. I am whatever the fuck I want to be. I am whatever I want to see. I am whatever I want to do. I am whatever I want to think. And did I mention I am whatever the hell I feel? That is who I am. Shit. I've thrown you for a really big loop. You don't know what to do with me. You don't. There's no perfect label to put on me. There's not a box big enough to put me in. I don't belong to any clique. So you don't know what to do with me. and that scares the hell out of you. I love fear. I can taste it. I can feel it pulsating through you. Your breath, it's so shallow. Come on. You've got to breathe for me. I know I'm very overwhelming at first. Okay, that's a big lie. I love overwhelming you. I relish flooding you with emotions and thoughts. I know my effect, and you're slowly coming to learn about it. I know you don't know what to do with me, but you've got to come closer. Yes, you've got to come closer because you will see me. So come closer. Come closer. Can you take me? Can you take me? Yes, you can. Can you take me as I am? Take me. All of me. Will you do that for me? I promise you, you will never regret it. You may feel like you do at times, but you really won't regret it. Take me as I am. Can I lay it all bare for you? You see, I need to strip myself. I don't want restrictions. I need freedom, liberation. I don't know what that is or what it looks like though, but I know this isn't it. So can you take me without confining me? Will you love me for just being me and existing? You see, I see me. Can you see what I see? I embrace me. I fully, truly accept myself. I celebrate me. I take me as I am. I would take you as you are. Can we be like this for one another? Just be together. I am what I am. You are what you are. We have nothing to prove. So let's stop trying. Know who I am, and in return, I will know who you are. So do you see people? You're thinking, come on, Tara, of course, unless I'm blind, I see people. But no. Do you really see them? Fully, truly see them? Acknowledge them, accept them, embrace them, welcome them. Do you see the people in front of you? Do you remember the people who have crossed your path? Do you see them? Because if you have a readily available answer to what I'm saying to you, then I know you don't understand what the hell I'm saying. I'm asking you, do you acknowledge the existence of another human being besides yourself and your damn cell phone? Do you see a person? I don't think we do. Yes, we do all our polite, our political correct shit. Good morning, hello, please, thank you. But we don't see people. We don't acknowledge that there's another living being that's in front of us, that's crossing our path, that has something to offer us if we take the time to acknowledge and see it. Everyone is here with a gift. And so many of us are missing out on what others have to offer us because we're so wrapped up into ourselves or whatever it is that's distracting us at this point in time. But do you see people? Because when you see people, you connect with them. When you see them, you acknowledge them. When you see them, you should feel much better to have that presence of mind and presence of sight of another person besides yourself. Because that's what all of you are craving. You want a community, right? That's why you're all on social media or doing whatever the hell you're doing, because you want community. Now, how can you want community if you don't recognize a community that's right in front of your motherfucking face? No, you want to like and you want to connect with people who are overseas or some other place that are liking whatever images that you are portraying of your life. But the people who are directly in front of you, living, breathing, warm bodies, you don't see them. No, you don't see them at all. So what do you see? Huh? What do you see when you look at people? You see what the fuck you want to see. You have this pre-selected criteria which you base things on. And that is what you use to determine whether you are going to pause and take a little bit more time, energy, and effort to put into partially seeing someone, right? So what do you look for when you see people? You look for either someone who can benefit you. You look for people that you want to avoid, who you think is going to diminish you and your life some way. Or you look for people who shows you either who you are striving to be or who you actually are. All that shit is fraud. None of it's real. It's like your goddamn social media accounts and you put up there whatever you want people to see, that fucking happy face of yours. So what you're looking for is superficial shit. And you want to know why you're lonely. You want to know why you're unfulfilled. You want to know why no one understands you. You want to know why no one wants to motherfucking listen to you. That's why. You're looking for things that are really nothing at the end of the day. Because real people want real shit. And to get real shit, you got to take the time to look for those needles in the haystack. And you're not looking for the needles in the haystack. You are fucking around with straws of hay, which means everyday things, everyday people, everyday goals, and everyday unfulfillment. Why do we see only what we want to see? Conditioning, programming. It gives us a sense of security. It gives you safety. It gives you control. All that is a matter of perception, because you wouldn't be holding on so goddamn tight if you really had control. You wouldn't be so steadfast and what it is that you're seeking and searching for if you had that comfort and security and balance within yourself. We're looking for things that we can barricade ourselves with to have our pretend feel good and paint on our happy face. Yeah, it's called selective vision. We heard of selective hearing. Well, this is called selective vision. You're trying to play tricks with yourself, your mind, about what you actually are versus what you are trying to show people. There's always this battle between who you are and who you want to fucking try to be or get people to think you are. So you have to concoct or thread together a story that fits this storyline that you've put together. Because if one thing falls out of place, which means a person that doesn't have the qualities you want to see, then it starts to fuck with your well-being. Who are you without your fraud existence? Who are you without your fraud labels? Who are you? And you're thinking who I am really doesn't matter. It's who I portray myself to be. That's what's most important. That's what's most important. That's the only thing that really matters. So why can't we see all parts of people like their dark side? We can't see all parts of people because we don't want to see all parts of ourselves. We have a deep problem with ourselves. A really deep problem. You guys think that there's something that can help you escape from who you are.
You have these notions that you're supposed to be perfect all the time. Nothing is perfect. Everything should be striving to do its best job. That's all you can do, your best. And your best changes every moment of the day. So if you give yourself the leeway to adjust and adapt and flow with life, that cuts down on a lot of stress and it allows you to embrace yourself and others fully. But if you're living up to these standards of perfection, which really it doesn't exist, because once you achieve your quote unquote perfection, that is no longer perfection. That is second best because there becomes a new perfection. To have absolute perfection, that means there's no place else to go after that. And if there's some improvement that can be made, that means what your perfect was today will not be your perfect tomorrow. So you will always be on this hamster wheel of trying to be perfect. But if you don't know this, you are a human being. You have limitations. I know you like to believe that you don't, but we all have limitations. No one has everything. People like to think they have everything. People like to look like they have everything, but no one gets everything. And that's what you people don't realize. That's the game that you're caught up in. The game of trying to get everything and not have to struggle. Life is about struggle. You achieve and you lose. It's a constant tug of war. It's a battle between both. So if you're striving for perfection, which means there is no perfection, that means you will always be after the pursuit of something that really doesn't exist. So how does this tie into your dark side? Your dark side, the side that you don't like, balances you out. It gives you a sense of depth. It gives you wisdom about things and yourself that you really would not get any place else unless you took the time to listen. We want everything sunshines, picket fences, and roses. And that's not life. Life has 4 seasons for a reason. It's representative of something of significance. You can't have summer all the damn time, because if you have summer all the time, the plants and animals would not be able to sustain that heat. So everything has a cycle. Everything has to shift. And even with your own personal issues and demons, they also go in cycles and shifts because as you overcome one, there's another one that pops up his head, because that is how you grow. That is how you learn. So why can't we see all parts of people? Because we don't want to see all parts of ourselves, because the people around us do not know how to see us, how to accept us, how to embrace us. We are taught that we all have to march to the same beat. We are taught that we all have to march to some standard or some tune that really does not work for everyone. It probably works for 1 or 2, but it doesn't work for most of us. We feel ashamed about being scared. We feel ashamed about being weak. We feel ashamed about failing. We feel ashamed about being sad. We feel ashamed about being judged. We feel ashamed about being rejected. We feel shame about being alone and feeling lonely. We feel shame about being misunderstood. We feel shame for not voicing who and what we are and what's of importance to us. Shame, shame, shame. I don't understand. How does that shame benefit you? It doesn't benefit you. Why can't you turn around and look at yourself? See you. Accept the issues you have. Accept that you may or may not know who, what, when, where, how, why the shit came from, but it's yours. And since it's yours, it's under your power to alter it, to change it, to learn from it. But how are you going to do that if you keep running from your dark side? You keep pretending to be happy. No motherfucker's happy all the time. Right now, I'm grumpy as hell recording this episode because I'd rather be doing something else because it's so late. But I'm doing this because it's important to me despite the fact that I'm grumpy. And I don't have any shame in letting any of you know that, because that's what I feel right now. And if that's what I feel, that's what I feel. We all have our limitations. Our limitations are there to share information with us. Feeling weak, nothing wrong with that. Feeling scared, there's nothing wrong with that. Feeling embarrassed, there's nothing wrong with that. So why, when we have these heavier emotions, we want to feel bad about that shit? We have it because we're supposed to have it. We have it because we're supposed to work through it and move the fuck on. Not hide from it, stuff it away, and then carry those heavy ass luggage of ours, of issues with us from one person to the next. No. Do you think that your selective vision will allow you to escape? No. You may think that with your selective vision and how you're screening and selecting people, persons, places, or things is helping you. No, because you, with all your friends, still feel lonely inside. You feel lonely because you don't know you and no one else knows you. We think that if something feels uncomfortable, that is bad for us. No, it's there to teach you something. And the sooner you learn what it is, the sooner you can move the hell on. You cannot escape from anything. Whatever that's meant to cross your path, to come into your life, to impact you, it will come whether you know it or like it or not. You can't change what the fuck is written. You can't change what the hell you're supposed to learn. You cannot change what you're going to go through. All you can do is adjust, adapt, learn, and move on as swiftly as possible. You cannot escape anything. So what are you trying to escape? You are trying to escape feeling uncomfortable. You're trying to escape all those things that may cause you to be rejected, dejected, judged by a whole bunch of other people. That's what you're trying to avoid. But let me ask you this. How's that going so far? Your facade of showing people what the fuck they want to see? How does that work? Is working great? It may appear to be working great, but you and I both know you're hollow and void inside. We both know that you're bored and unfulfilled. So you may think that you can run. You may think that you can hide. You may think that you can escape. You can't escape you. How many times I have to tell you people that? You can't run. You can't hide from you. You are you. You are with you. You cannot deny you. You can't hide behind drugs, alcohol, work, sex, anger, whatever issues that you're battling with. You cannot hide from you. So the sooner you accept that, the better you are. So who are you trying to escape at the end of the day? You know who you're trying to escape? You're trying to escape your damn self, which is why you are judging others, why you are impacting them with your opinions and your thoughts. That's what you're doing. You are projecting yourself, your issues onto other people. All because you are having a hard time and you have not been taught how you can embrace yourself, how you can be yourself and feel great confidence that, look, motherfucker, this is what it is, this is what it was, and this is all is what is going to be, what it will be. So if you're going to love me, this is who you're going to love. If you can't take me, then you need to get to step it and move the fuck on. Why can't we be like that? Why must we show people what the fuck they want to see? Why must we look for what the fuck we want to see? Where I'm from, lay that shit butt ass naked. Show me who the fuck you are. Because if I know I can see who the fuck you are, then I know who I'm dealing with and I can handle it accordingly. We go into relationships blind, thinking everything is picture perfect. We all have issues. Some embrace them, some are aware of them, some manage them, some hide and get yourself in trouble. You can't do anything about that. You cannot go anywhere at all. You can't escape you, and you can't escape other people or their issues. You can't escape that. That is why we're all here. So if you accept the fact that you cannot escape, then you sit with that and you embrace it and you accept it. So why does the dark side of you and others scare you? Because we are taught in society that those heavy, uncomfortable feelings that we have, we are taught that they are not natural. We're taught that we can shove it down, push it down. We're taught that we can ignore it. We can medicate it. We're taught that we can say all these affirmations and that will erase that part of you. You can never be happy all the time. You can be happy within your spirit or heart, but there's going to be things that happen in life that's going to rattle your goddamn cage, that's going to make you feel uncomfortable, insecure, and not safe. It's part of life. That's what happens. That's why we have so many people. We can't avoid that at all. So we're taught that we can basically make all this stuff disappear, but you cannot make it disappear because it's a part of who you are. And I say the dark side and you guys think it's evil, but no, it's all those things that you don't want to deal with. It's all those things that you want to avoid. People, places, things, feelings, those things that make you feel uncomfortable, those things that make you take a step back, probably sit the hell down and just washes over you and you don't know where it's coming from, what to do it. I've said this before. When something makes you feel good, try to learn from it. If something is making you feel bad, that's good also. That means it's trying to share some information with you. You can't change how the information comes to you. It may be a good feeling. It may not be a great feeling at all, but there's always something for you to extract from that. Don't run from your dark side. Embrace it. Integrate it. It will make you a much better person when you actually don't give a damn about what it is that you struggle with, whether it be temper, patience, whatever. We're human for a reason, and we need to acknowledge and accept that. It's okay to be a human being. Is there power in your perceived weaknesses? Hell yeah, there's power in perceived weaknesses. You know what the power is? The power is wisdom. Those feelings and things that you have, insecurities, fears from your childhood, your adulthood, whatever hood or whatever you're going through, all that has pearls of wisdom for you. But you got to know how to tap into that shit. You have to know how to take what you're getting and turn it inside out to get the wisdom that is offering you. But 9 times out of 10, something makes us upset, something makes us uncomfortable. We run, we shut down. Why are you going to shut down from knowledge? Why are you going to shut down from wisdom? Why are you going to shut down from things that's going to make you feel better and live a better life? What seems to be a weakness is probably one of your greatest strengths. Listen to what the fuck I said. You have anger issues? Accept it. Accept it. Don't judge yourself. And then the next step you do, you identify the things that send you over the motherfucking edge, and then you figure out why do those things send you over the edge, and then you start addressing shit. That is how your dark side loses power over you. When you acknowledge it, respect it, accept it, grow and learn from it, then it doesn't have the effect that you're used to. Just some pearls of wisdom from me to you. So how do you define you? Yeah, how do you define you? I'm pausing for a reason, because I'm hoping some of you guys have figured out by now, by listening to me, you cannot define you. You cannot begin to define you, the depths and the girth of who you are. So if there's no label, no box to fit you in, then you surrender to the fact that, okay, there's no label that fits with me. There's no box that fits with me. I am just me. And there's no one else to compare myself with. So when I stop comparing myself to others and stop judging myself, that makes life a lot easier and simpler, because you know, okay, this is who I am. This is what the fuck I feel. And I'm doing the best that I can, but this is as good as it get. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. That cuts down on a lot of damn stress and worrying. When you say, this is who I am, what do you want to do about it? Well, you can't do a damn thing about it. So all you can do is accept me or move the fuck on. You cannot define you. And when you try to define you, that is when you are inviting issues and obstacles and hindrances into your life. Stop trying to restrict and confine yourself and just accept the fact that you are you. And did I mention you are you? How do you want others to define you? You shouldn't want anyone to define you. You shouldn't want anyone to put any type of shackles onto you. Not at all. Why do you want that? It's so stressful trying to live up to the labels. It's so stressful trying to avoid being labeled. And if I'm telling you life can be much simpler than that, if you just no longer give a fuck and embrace all that you are, then you start attracting other people who are just like that. And you realize, man, this is very liberating. This is great. I don't have to pretend to be in a bad mood. I don't have to pretend to be a pain in the ass. This is just me. So if you know that you're accepted for who you are and you're accepted and still respected, that gives you a lot of breathing room to navigate, to grow, to move through whatever dark feelings that you're having. But when you're trying to put labels and put yourself in a box and define this, that, and the other, no, you can't do that. You're stressing yourself out, living up to some shit that you will never, ever, ever be able to meet. So, how do you want others to define you? I hope you guys have learned something. You want people not to be able to define you at all. And you want people to realize that they don't need to define you at all. And you want people to realize, why do you need to define any damn thing? Let's just be. Let's just be. Why get caught up in shit that means nothing? It means nothing. Because today you may be patient, tomorrow you may be impatient. If that's the case, you will have so many damn labels you don't know what to do with it. Let's stop with the labels. Let's stop worrying about how other people define you. You cannot be defined. And you shouldn't want to be defined at all. So how do you unveil yourself to others? Well, you got to figure out who the fuck you're unveiling yourself to. And can they withstand it? You would hate to unveil yourself in front of the wrong person and that shit does not go as planned. So for some of you, depending on who you're dealing with, it may be a very slow step-by-step unveiling. For others, it may be a complete jump out the motherfucking closet. Each person's situation is different. And you have to figure out how much you want to show. Now you're saying, Tara, what do you mean how much do I want to show? Didn't you say just lay it bare ass naked? I did say that. So let me clarify what I mean. It's like turning up and down the volume. If you need a low volume, you keep it low. If you need a high volume, you turn it high. So depending on who or what you're around, you will always be you. The question is to what potency, to what degree? Because different situations, different people's circumstances require different things from you. So you can always be you because you have a knob to adjust how much of you you're going to be. But unveiling yourself, you want to exercise good judgment and make sure that one, you really don't give a fuck what the person thinks and you will be okay if you are not well received or not. So think it through every day, every way. So you're making sure that you are honoring yourself and doing what's right for you. But I can tell you this, you don't want others defining you and you want to make sure you put some thought behind, real thought behind how you are showing yourself to the world. Because if you do too much too fast, then you may encounter some obstacles. So the best piece of advice I can give you is to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Be aware of who and what you're around and what it means. Because you know some people can get arrested from having different points of view or behaving differently. So you want to exercise good judgment. Embracing and knowing yourself does not necessarily mean that you expose or unveil all of yourself to any and everyone. No, you have to use judgment. The person that comes first as far as the full unveiling is you, and it should always be you. But with others, use discretion. So what should you want people to see from you? You want people to see you. All that is you. Because everything that's a part of making who you are is why you are who you are. Your good and not so good is what makes you so unique and special because it all fits together much differently. Much differently. We're all wired differently. So what do you want people to see? That you are a person just like they are, and you're doing the best that you can, as you can, when you can. And if you're not doing as well as you could or can, you're okay with that. You accept that because you know what you say today, this is what today is. But tomorrow is going to be different. And just embrace yourself. Don't judge you. Just be. And it is what it is. And for those who don't like it, they don't have to look. They don't have to listen. They don't have to be bothered with it. But you need to be comfortable with you within your own skin. You just want people to see you as you are. Who or what are you? You are a soul, a spirit, and a body. And if you learn how to listen to yourself, it will help you navigate life so much easier. All you want you to do, I know it sounds confusing as hell, but work with me. All that you want from you is acceptance and acknowledgement and respect. And realize you are the way you are for a reason, and you're perfect the way you are. And the sooner you can accept that shit, the better off you are. Now, not everyone's going to agree with the extent or degree of who or what you are, but you get to be the full, true you with you. And you get to use your prerogative as far as what you show, what you don't show with others. But the main thing I want you to take away from this, do you, be you. Dare to be you. And if you feel like you're not doing something right, your first issue is, again, you're judging yourself with labels. It is what it is. If you feel like you did your best, then you did your best, and everything else, you should let it go. It is not worth your time. So the next time you look at people, try to see who they are. Because when you see them, you can see when they're sad. You can see when they're happy. You can see when they're disappointed, rejected, dejected. Let's do better so we can all be better and have better. This is all I have for my Coming to My World segment. And please stay tuned for something in the news. All right, everyone. So this is part 3 of the article that I've been discussing over the past couple of weeks. Part 1 is in episode 53. Part 2 is in episode 54. And the final part, part 3, is here in this episode 55. And the article that I'm talking about is called Can I Forgive Him? How I Discovered My Husband's Sex Obsession. So let's start with part 3. In part 3, she said that she actually never told anyone about her husband's alternative sexual life. And she was ashamed of what had happened, meaning she was ashamed of the fact that he was with prostitutes, he was in strip clubs, he's been going to sex cinemas, he's been watching a whole bunch of pornography. So she was blindsided and shocked by that, and she did not feel comfortable sharing this information with anyone else. She wondered, his wife, what people would think, how they would judge her, her marriage, and think that she had a sham of a marriage. So what I'm reading from this is not particularly what he was doing. And it's not particularly bothering her as much as far as what he's doing. So what he has done, and what he's doing, it's not her real issue. Her fundamental issue is other people. And her anger and sadness is stemming from how people are going to view her, what people are going to say about her. And I'm not sure if I'm explaining myself very well, but I want to backtrack. She has found out that her husband has an alternative sexual lifestyle, which made her very, very upset because he's been quote unquote cheating. And initially you would think that her anger, her outrage, her sadness stems from what he was doing outside of their marriage. But what her real issue is not what he needs and what he wants and what he's been doing. And it's not about what she has not been doing for him in the marriage and the fact that she and he wasn't able to produce an environment and circumstances in which he felt open and honest. She is more concerned about what people would think, how they would judge her, her marriage, and think her marriage was a sham. Well, that's called projection, deflection, because essentially her marriage is a sham. It is a sham. And now you're saying, hold up, how can she be responsible for her sham marriage? I didn't say she was responsible. I said her marriage is a sham. When two people don't know one another, I would say that's a sham. Where you're saying, well, hey, he lied to her. He hid his lifestyle. Yes, he did. But the real question I want to ask you is this. They love one another, right? So why wasn't he able to share that huge part of him? Clearly, if he's doing strippers, strip clubs, sex cinemas, prostitutes, he's doing a whole bunch of pornography. He's doing a whole bunch of other things. That means he has a lot of needs that are not getting fulfilled. And how is it possible that she does not know that? And how is it possible that he has not shared that? Something is off. Something is wrong. So if you have two people who are united in a union and they are not being forthright and honest, they are not being observant and interested and intrigued by the other, I would say that is a fraud motherfucking marriage. Marriage is supposed to be one of the utmost holiest unions. And if you got two people married and they don't know one another and they don't have any idea of what someone's needs are mentally, emotionally, physically, or spiritually, I would say that is a sham. Now the wife, get back to the wife. She felt people would think that she wasn't good enough for him, not pretty enough, not sexy enough, and it shattered her self-esteem. Now, I've posed this question before. What does what another motherfucker, what they're doing, what does that have to do with you? Why do we take people's interests, their needs, their wants, and use that as a way to define who we are? What someone likes, that's what the fuck they like. What someone wants, that's what the fuck they want. It has nothing to do with you. It only has something to do with you if you make it about you. And no one's made it about you. So why would you assume that you're not good enough? And you're saying, well, clearly she's not good enough, Tara. She wasn't fulfilling his sexual needs. But no. Let me explain this to you differently. As adults, as people, we have choices. We choose to do something. We choose not to do something. We choose to offer something. We choose not to offer something. So let me pose this question to you. Is it possible that what he needed, she could not and would not provide to him? Now, could not and would not does not mean that she is inadequate. Let's get that motherfucking straight. Let's be clear. This is not about adequacy. The fact that she's here on this earth as a human being, as who she is, makes her enough. But her inability, whether it's through choice or not, to fulfill those other aspects of him has nothing to do with her being adequate or inadequate. And I know I've confused you guys. You think because someone goes off and gets their needs fulfilled by some other place, that's a reflection of you. No, that's not a reflection of you. What is a reflection of the two of them is the fact that they're not open and honest. What is a reflection of them is they're not handling their marriage in a honoring way. They're being disrespectful to their marriage and to one another. But someone's specific wants and needs, that is someone else's specific wants and needs. That has nothing to do with her. So the fact that she's thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not sexy enough, you never let anybody or anything shatter your self-esteem like that. Don't you ever question if you're good enough. Just because you're not right for this person does not mean that you're not right for someone else. So it's never a question of your adequacy. It's never a question of how sexy you are, how pretty you are. You are what you feel. And if you feel like you're not good enough, that really has nothing to do with your husband. That has to do with you. If you don't feel sexy enough, that has nothing to do with your husband. That has to do with you. You're saying your husband's supposed to prop you up. No, you're supposed to prop your damn self up. Let's be clear. You can't have your worth, your value, your self-esteem tied to an outside motherfucker. You can't do that shit. Because when that person's dead and gone, what are you left with? You're left with nothing. You're left with nothing. So you got to get that shit for yourself. You have to sustain and maintain that shit for yourself. Don't rely on someone else for your sexiness, how pretty you are. If anything, you should be telling that motherfucker, you are lucky to have me. So what? I can't fulfill all your sexual needs. So the fuck what? But listen, I love you. You love me. What the fuck are we going to do about it? I'm not willing and or able to fulfill what you want. So are you going to go do something? Are we going to separate? What are you going to give it up? What are we going to do? Now that is companionship. That is a relationship. But you can't take people's different types of taboo fetishes, kinks and fetishes, kinks and things that they do and say, you know what, there must be something wrong with me. No, the only thing was wrong with you is that you thought your marriage was supposed to look quote unquote normal. And who knows what the fuck normal looks like? You thought your marriage is going to look like the person to the left, the right, the front, the back, the top, the bottom. Your marriage can never look like anyone else's marriage. So that was your first motherfucking mistake. If you stop focusing on how you look to other people, instead of turning around and looking at your spouse, your significant other, your partner, you would have seen some shit a long time ago. We get caught up in the wrong things. And the things that really goddamn matter, we ignore that shit. And that is why you get blindsided. Because if you were into him and he was into you, you would be able to pick up on some things. You were saying, well, he may be very sneaky. He got away with this far. True. But let's be honest. If she really wanted to look, if she really was looking, she would have found the shit. He wasn't hiding it that bad. He wasn't hiding it that much. It was right in front of her face. It was right there. And to be honest with you, I think he personally was hoping that he would get caught, so he can let the cat out of the bag and live his free life. But back to the moral of the story. No one defines your worth. No one defines how attractive you are. No one defines how sexy you are. And no one should be able to shatter your motherfucking self-esteem. That is why it's called self-esteem. Self, that would be you. No one. And what they think, how they feel should ever factor in how you value and see yourself, unless they're saying some great things. If they're saying some fuck off things, fuck them, fuck it all, and move the fuck on and ignore them. But don't let someone shatter your self-esteem off of some shit they're doing. So she started wearing more makeup. She lost some weight, bought new clothes, and got her hair done more often and got Botox. Again, fraud ass life. Fraud ass lifestyle. If this is who you really wanted to be, then you should have already become that. Why are you trying to make yourself up like some type of geisha doll to think that this is going to stop your husband? Your husband is the way that he is, because that is how the fuck he is. It has nothing to do with you. What turns him on? That's what the fuck turns him on. You can't change someone's hardwiring. You can't change their programming. You try as you might to get them to fucking lock it away and bear it away, but you can never change how someone is. You can never change what the fuck gets them off. So if you can't accept what the fuck gets them off, and you can't do anything about it, and you are not loving them enough to allow them to go do it, then the right thing would be that you two part your separate ways. But you think you can convince him to be someone else because you are now becoming even more so someone else. Botox, weight loss, new clothes, all these things just to get your husband to stop liking what the fuck he loves. That's called stacking yourself for failure. It's unrealistic expectations. Guys, you cannot change what you like. You cannot change what you want. You can pretend, but eventually that shit will catch the fuck up with you. So that is why I said you honor yourself, you respect yourself, you acknowledge yourself, and you find a mature, balanced way to get you what you need. But if someone is trying to dress up, lose weight, change their hair, change their makeup, all that stuff just to distract you and to keep you from being who you are, I would say, you know what, that relationship, you might want to get out sooner rather than later. You really want to think about that. She went to a clinic and explained her husband's behavior. And she was told that he was a sex addict. Yeah. So after she got all the makeup and everything done and she got, she changed herself, gave herself a makeover, she thought that all that would change her husband and get him to stop liking what it is that he liked. But eventually she realized that shit wasn't working either. So lo and behold, what does she do? Well, she goes to a clinic. And she explains to them her husband's behavior. And they naturally just assume that this motherfucker must be a sex addict. Not that he's very sexual, very sensual, has a high sex drive. No, he must be a sex addict because he likes all these different things. Right? And then in her mind, she said, great. That is what she needed. She needed a goddamn label. She needed to label him, and the label that she wanted to come up with him was the fact that he must be ill. He must not be right in the head. Why must what turns someone the fuck on make them not well? Just because your shit is plain vanilla. Huh? Yeah, listen to what the fuck I said. Why is it that if someone likes to go to strip clubs, sex cinemas, whatever they like to do, why do you assume that something must be wrong with them? Because your shit is plainer than goddamn vanilla ice cream. Our judgments and our expectations of others knows no bounds. Just because you're married to him, you don't get to dictate what the fuck he likes, what he wants, what he needs. And he doesn't get to dictate what you like, what you want, what you need. You came together because you love one another, right? So is your love unconditional or conditional? Because what I'm saying is your love is highly conditional. You can't try to change how someone is. You will never motherfucking win because it will come out eventually. But since what her makeover didn't work, she had to assume that something must be wrong with this motherfucker because, you know what? I did all this and he still won't stop. He's ill. You see, there's something not wrong with him, but she's convinced something is wrong with him. She needed the label. She got the label. And that label was just to reassure herself that she had nothing to do with it. So she needed to get a label that basically said that something was wrong with him. He was ill, just so she could feel better about herself. So again, you got both people holding one another down. Instead of celebrating, embracing, uplifting one another and finding out who she is and finding out who he is, she wants to basically say, you know what? You're sick. You're twisted. You're off, motherfucker. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm normal. I'm normal. I'm right. You're the person with the problem, not me. And that is how she got her self-esteem back. It's not going to last. So now she has a label. She's convinced herself that she has nothing to do with it. And that he was bound to do this shit anyway because he's sick. No, he's bound to do it because that is what makes him feel good. That is what he needs to be the best person that he can be. Now, unfortunately for you, you cannot understand that. You cannot accept that. So what you can't accept is negative labels, judgments, boxing him in a corner, restricting him, depriving him. And that is how you got into the situation. So she got her husband to agree to go to a counseling session. Her husband comes back from the first counseling session and he said that he didn't think he had a sex addiction. He just made bad choices. On one hand, he's very accurate as far as not having a sex addiction as far as I'm concerned. And as far as the bad choices, yes, how he handled it as far as not being forthright and honest with her, that was a bad choice. But what turns him on and what he likes, you will never convince me that's the motherfucking bad choice. That's like trying to convince somebody that loves pizza that they don't like pizza. You cannot change who you are to make someone feel better. You cannot change what it is that gives you life. So yeah, did he make a few bad choices? Yes. He was dishonest. He did not have a conversation with her for fear of losing her. And that fear created this whole big ass situation. But if he is going to strip clubs, he's doing all those things, that if I love him, I'm going to trust and believe that that's the best alternative for him. That is what's right for him. That's what's going to benefit him. That's what's going to make him happy. So if he's happy, guess what the fuck he's going to do? He's going to come back and make me happy, because no one is going to be as understanding as I am, which means he's going to be willing to go above and beyond for my ass. But that's how I approach shit. And if she really wanted to, she could go along with him just to witness and see, and they can bond over that. But that's about confidence and self-esteem. maybe it's a lot of bit out there for you guys. I'm just presenting different alternatives for you to think about differently. But she basically had to put him down to uplift herself, instead of she realizing what he did or does has nothing to do with me. And this is who I am. I'm comfortable with that. And I am not willing to do some of the shit he's willing to do. So either we're going to stay together or not. That's mature. That's a boss move. That's a boss move. So after he stopped his own counseling sessions, they started marriage counseling. And he said that the life before she discovered the truth was like being in this dark tunnel. And he was holding the secret and hiding and lying. And now that she knows, he could see the light at the end of the tunnel. So he felt relief. Nobody feels relief of that magnitude unless this is really who they are, what they need to relieve stress, to relieve, let off steam, whatever. No one is that relieved if this is who he is. So if she wants him or wants to be with him, she has to start to expand her mind, her heart, her soul to accommodate that. So after he said he felt better, he felt freer, he felt lighter because now there's no more hiding. She said that she thought that, hey, that's great for him. But now she's the one living in complete darkness. And everything for her is now gloomy because she's the one now holding his secret because she can't tell anyone what's going on. That has to be difficult that you can't tell anyone what's going on. And it would be nice that you got a lot more confidence and sure-footedness in yourself that you really don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. You see, what you people don't realize is we all exist because somebody has had sex and they're still having sex to this day. Now, after a period of time, what used to work as far as arousal stops working or is not as effective. So different people need different things to keep shit going. So instead of her finding ways to say, okay, this is another way to add some spice to our life, this is another way to enhance our bond and closeness, she's trying to convince him that he's sick. And now she's carrying this heavy bag on her back because she doesn't want anyone to find out. What they do in their bedroom is nobody's motherfucking business but their own. No one's business. So why would she think, or why would she care to even share the fact of what they're doing behind closed doors? Everyone has their own thing. Everyone has their own chemistry. And it's no one's motherfucking business what you're doing, what you're not doing, where you're going, how accepting and loving or understanding you're going to be of your significant other or spouse. It's no one's business unless you make it their business. So once you found this out, you figure out that, I really don't care, you move on. But if there's someone that you do want to share it with and you cannot share with them for fear of being judged, and I would say that's not really a good friend of yours. Just some food for thought. So in a lot of ways, her marriage became better because she now knew a great aspect of who her husband is and was, and she can see him fully for what he is. And they had a closer bond. They basically developed a closer relationship because there were no more secrets. They were becoming more open with one another. That is a real relationship where you can be open and honest, loving and supportive and see one another and be with one another. All this fraud shit of doing things you don't want to do, pretending to be something you want to be, you're going to end up bored, disheartened, cheating, disgruntled, unfulfilled. The list goes on and on and on. Real connections happen with honesty, pure, true honesty. And you guys need to remember that. She asks, can she forgive him? And she's still wondering, can she forgive him? She doesn't think that she can forgive him for the hurt he has caused her, but she loves him and wants to be with him. She said, if you met him, you wouldn't believe it, that he's this type of person to do something like this. What do you mean he's this type of person? What type of person is that? He is who he is. He is in a class of his own. He is in a league of his own. Who in the fuck do you keep comparing him to? And that is why he had the secret life. You're busy comparing him to some imaginary standards in your head that he was never able to live up to. Or he tried to, but he could only do it on Saturday and Sunday. And Monday through Friday, he was living his alternative lifestyle, which was more suitable for him. You're angry with him because he caused you a lot of hurt. But he was also protecting you because he loved you. Now, the way he went about it was foul. He should have been open, honest, forthright from the beginning. But he wasn't, because he didn't think that he could be, because of how much you think about what other people think and feel. If you want people to open up to you, you got to give them room to expand, to grow, to feel comfortable and safe and do that shit. But yeah, he hurt you because you didn't realize your marriage was a house of cards. So you were shocked and you thought his actions had something to do with you. But at some point in time, you needed to realize that, you know what? This is not about me. This is about him. Now, what is about me is why I'm so concerned about what other people motherfucking think. When I'm a grown ass person, I can do what the fuck I need to do. We can't make other people's problems our own, and we cannot let other people make their problems our own. We need to own our own shit, clean it up, be done with it, and enjoy your life. Live your life. And if someone that you're with, you cannot accept fully who they are, what they are, you need to move the fuck on so they can be with somebody else who can and will. And it's okay. If you found that love, you will find another motherfucking love. So thank you for listening. This is the end of this segment, which I'm talking about that article, and this is part 3. So please join me again next week, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Are you disappointed this has come to an end? Well, it doesn't have to. Reach out and let me know what you think about this episode and my podcast. You can try and slide into my DM, but I will kick your ass out. So I suggest you hop into my DM on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding, or Twitter at Mrs. D&D, or leave a comment on one of my posts. Have you figured it out yet? I hope so, because it is quite simple. Life is not a life without a lot of difficult and demanding. Find me on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding and follow me there. Episode 56 is here on December 14th, 2018 from the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast.